searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. Birds jumping and I hear my name, grasping into a life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a strive. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah. Lion's gonna come. The birds have just begun. We will always take a stand for the people, for the land. Let's go back to when we were young. For the animals we stand. Let's go back to when trees were swung. Kids across the land. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. generous. Now I've learned to never help you out, 'cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now, a little stronger now.
You always want what you can't have, and what you have you can. But still my heart, the moment I laid eyes on it. Well, how do you know how you will feel when everything changes? Where will I go? Where will you be? How will I know? How do you know? How do you know? How do you You always want what you can't have, and what you have you can. But still my heart, the moment I laid eyes on it. Well, how do you know how you will feel?
Welcome back then to the SimZone, ladies and gentlemen. We're here for round 7 of the GT3 Championship, sponsored by Silent X Energy. And if you haven't guessed it already, we are at Donington Park, where we come into this round with Robin Schrank leading the championship on 479 points, followed by Borchardt on 470. So just 9 points between the top two in the championship coming into the penultimate round. And then Mattia Nishira in third on 387, with Totev in fourth on 360, and Axel Oderberg in fifth on 339. So very close then between third, fourth and fifth, and first and second also very, very close. So we're going to see it all to play for in these final 2 rounds. And currently we've got Robin Frank on pole position here, 127.630. And looks like Frank is on for an improvement this lap as well. Currently 4/10 up, as he comes up towards the final chicane. Remember, this is the GP circuit they're laying out, they're racing on, so they've got this chicane and then the final 2 hairpins. Let's see who you're rooting for in the chat. Let's get some comments in, see who you guys are supporting. So there we go, Robin Frank setting a 126.960. Totev is currently in P2, 9/10 off. He is 2/10 up on this lap currently. He has got some traffic just up ahead of him. I'm not sure if this is going to hinder his last corner. It should be okay, but he might struggle on his next lap as he rounds off the final corner. Then let's see if he can improve. I think he's lost some time, but he crosses the line, and there we go, improves ever so slightly. He's going to return to the pits then. DasStopsChild puts it into P2, 7/10 off still, so he's on a 127.700. Looking further down the field, Oderberg coming through the S's now. Got some comments coming in. JR once again showing his dislike towards Kurt's pink livery. Kenny supporting Jan and Carl, I believe, Carl Van Horn. Joshua Howard also supporting Kurt, and Hoshi supporting Jan as well. So quite some support here for Jan tonight, and Oderberg in P5 on a 127.955. And Nishira puts it into P3 on a 127.722. So extremely close between Borchardt and Nishira at the moment. Nishira is 2/10 up. Oh, he's invalidated his lap there. So easy to do. Who's chicane? I think he may just be returning to the pits now. There we go, returns to the pits. Borchardt is up on his lap. He's coming up towards the final corner here. He's only a 10th up. So let's see if he can hold it together. Exits the final corner, then seems to be okay. 2/10 up now as he crosses the line. And that puts him on a 127.515. So still 5/10 slower than Robin Frank there in P1. The BMW, one of the stronger cars here at Donington Park. And that's Oderberg losing the car there through the chicane. And that's his lap over, possibly even his qualifying session. And he's into the wall with some heavy damage then. He's going to return the car just to the pits. Zachetti down in P8. 4/10 up currently, coming up towards the Melbourne hairpin. And then up towards Goddard's the final corner here. He is 5/10 up. This could possibly see him in P4 or P5. Let's see as he rounds the final corner. Now he is still 5/10 up. And he crosses the line. There we go. Puts him into P5 on a 127.865. So very good lap there from Zachetti. Kurt Hodgson then in P9 currently, but he is 4/10 up on this lap, coming through the chicane now. He's kept it within the track limits. 5/10 up. This could see him possibly towards P7 or P6. And he's gone slightly deep there. I think that's not going to help with his lap time. He's lost all the time there, and he's only 0.3 tenths up now. There we go, rounds the final corner. And it's only possibly going to gain in one position. There we go, puts it into P8. Mullard is 3/10 up now, so he could be seeing himself in P3, possibly 4/10 up. Let's see if he can hold it through the final corner. And I think this may be P3. There we go, Ben Mullard putting it into P3. And he's just set a 1:27.545. So 300 slower than Bilotti in P2. Bilotti currently not on a lap at the moment. Let's look further down the field then. Jan Bath, currently in P18, is 5/10 up on this lap as he comes towards the S's now. He's kept it within track limits. Now through the Melbourne hairpin, you can hear how quickly Jan is downshifting there in the Porsche. And in the final corner, Jan Bath is 4/10 up. This could be a very good lap there from him. Puts it into P16. And Carl Van Horn is up on his lap. And as the Lazy Camel in the comments mentions, Carl Van Horn has just completed an 8-hour race today. And now he's racing here at Donington. So non-stop racing for Carl Van Horn today. I'm sure he's going to be quite tired, and this may hinder his race, or it may come into play at least. But exiting Coppice then down towards the S's, and he is 2/10 up. Robin Schrank back into the pits, so he doesn't really think he can improve. Ben Mullard puts it into P2 on a 1:27.387, so 4/10 slower than Schrank. Bilotti not able to improve yet, but he has time to do so. As we see Carl Van Horn, now he's lost some time through the Melbourne hairpin, now coming through Goddard's, and he is 2/10 down, so a bit of a slide there on the exit. But he's actually gained some time, and he puts in a 1:29.437 was that last lap, so just a 10th slower than his best. Now currently watching Totev running off the final corner. He's 4/10 up. Where could this see him? And he puts it into P2. Very good lap there from Totev. Puts it on the front row. But Ben Mullard rounding off the final corner is 2/10 up. And there we go. Puts it back into P2. Just 1.9 tenths off of Schrank's pole time. Nishira is currently a 10th up as well. Coming up towards, I believe, coming up towards Coppice now. And that's a BMW off there in the background. Not sure who that is. That's actually, no, that's not Luke Beacon. I think that's Freak. There we go. It is in the 333 BMW. Hodgson is 2/10 up at the moment. Could possibly see him gain 1 or 2 positions if he can keep it together here. Coming through the Melbourne hairpin now. And he's found 6/10 somewhere. We saw him go deep into the Melbourne hairpin last time around. And this could possibly be a very good lap here from Hodgson. 8/10 up now as he rounds the final corner. No, he's lost some time there through the final corner. There we go. Puts it into P5. Bilotti is 2/10 up. Unfortunately, he is under the weather, but he's turned up tonight, which is very good to see. And this could possibly even put him up a position. So he comes to the Melbourne hairpin now. He's found a few more tenths. Oh no, he's lost it there on the exit. It's going to be very close. It comes down to this final corner. This is the last chance for Borchardt to improve. As he rounds the final corner now, look to be a very clean exit from him. Crosses the line and puts it into P3. So he's going to gain P3, and Totev's qualifying session is over. So it's P4 provisionally for Totev. And the top 8 all within 8 tenths of each other. And Jan's still out on track. Doesn't look like he's up for an improvement. The only person up for an improvement is Hodgson. Doesn't look like anyone else is. As he comes through the final corner now, he is a 10th up. 2 tenths up, rounds the final corner and crosses the line. And where does this put him? No, not enough. There we go, so P5, but there we have it. Robin Schrank taking pole position. Ben Millard on the front row with him. Borchardt in P3 and Totev on the second row in P4. But we'll be back for the race, and make sure to stay tuned. Here you go then, back on the grid, getting ready for the formation lap here. And it's going to be a good one. We've got 23, 24 cars lining up on the grid tonight. Let's get your predictions in for who you think will be your top 3 of this race. You can see there, drivers just getting their setups ready, being dropped off the jacks. And we've still got a bit till we start this formation lap. And just look at the amount of liveries, look at the creativeness we have here lining up on the grid. But the championship between Schrank and Thorsten Borchardt is going to come down to the wire here. The BMW's up there, but the McLaren seem to have locked out the front row. And it's going to be a difficult one for Borchardt if he wants to maintain his chances of this championship here. And coming into the final round, we do actually have Oulton Park. So that's not one of the best tracks for the McLaren, as we know. So I think Borchardt may just be relying on Oulton Park to really help him gain some points on Schrank. Ladies and gentlemen saying, well done Jan, top 10. Very tight at the top. Yes, it definitely is, as we saw in qualifying. I think it was just the top 10 or something separated by 7 tenths, 7, 8 tenths. But the race at the moment looking dry for some reason. We have seen it wet in some of the practice sessions and dry also, but you know, anything can happen here. UK weather. And some of these drivers aren't going to be happy with it being dry. They'd want it to be wet. And here we go, onto the formation lap. Track only 14 degrees. You never know, anything can change here. Could suddenly see some rain, but at the moment there's not a huge amount of cloud coverage. So for now, it is looking dry. Track only fast, but if it stays as it is, it will be optimum as we go into the race. Actually, 25 cars on the grid tonight. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to sign up for the next season of the PC GT3 Championship, where we do have a prize pool for the top 3 and also for the most fastest laps of the race and the most pole positions of the season, sorry. So make sure you do sign up for that. That is for PC only. You can see here Frank just trying to get some heat into the tyres, riding the brake there. And we'll just go trackside quickly here. I've also got someone joining me in the commentary booth. He's joined us in a past event, the Spa 4 Hours, and a few other PC events as well. But I'm joined by the one and only Josh Howard. I don't think he's got his mic working though. No, it doesn't seem like it, so here we go then, drivers lining up side by side, getting ready for the race start here. Here we go, we're about to cross the line here for round 7 of the GT3 Championship, and we are green now. There we go, and Borchardt with a very good start there, and we are 3 wide already coming down towards turn 1. Let's hope they can keep it clean. And back towards 2 wide, and Kurt has made contact there with Borchardt, and that is the issue of going 3 wide into turn 1. And it's advised not to do so, but that puts Ben Mullard up into P1, and Schrank, as we know, doesn't usually get the best start off the line, but he always manages to pull through and open up a huge gap to those behind. But Kurt not waiting there for Borchardt, so some more contact between those two, and I know Borchardt's not going to be happy at all with that. But Borchardt making it 3 wide into turn 1, and we've told people countlessly that it's not a good idea to do so. And there we go, Ben Mullard now leading the race, fending off Schrank. These two were very similar on pace in qualifying, and Totev looking around the outside there on Schrank, but Schrank's going to have the inside coming through the Melbourne hairpin, and I think he may be able to hold off, and yes he does. He goes defensive coming up towards defensive towards the final corner. And he's held on to the position just about, but Borchardt dropping down to P8 then. And I think Howder's got his mic, Josh Howard's got his mic working now? Nope, doesn't seem like it. But here we go. The top three, still as it were. Ben Millard leading the race, and further down the pack we've got Cameron up into P6. Started in P9, so he's made quite a few positions, and that's Nishira and Borchardt going side by side. I think Borchardt's going to have the inside for the next corner, and he's gone deep slightly, and that's going to allow Nishira back up the inside, coming up towards Coppice, and he's going to have the move done once again. So Nishira back up into P7, and he may have to go defensive now, coming up towards the S's. Borchardt's going to have a look up the inside, but I don't know if he's close enough. No, he's had to back out of that one. And the Shearer's held on for another corner. The gap at the top has actually increased ever so slightly. It does say 5/10, but it's much less than that. Exiting the Melbourne hairpin now. Ben Muller doing a great job at holding off Schrank here. Totev really sticking with them, but this is going to bring Kurt and Otterberg towards this pack just up ahead, and Kurt making a move there on Otterberg for P4. Kurt's going to have to go defensive. No, Otterberg looking to the inside, coming down towards turn 1, but Kurt holding around the outside there, and Otterberg had to back out that one. Oh, nearly losing the car on the curb there, but he's kept it together. And some of the curbs here at Donington aren't very forgiving at all. Coming through the Craners now, down towards old hairpin, and Kurt running wide. Otterberg follows him off slightly there, but I don't think he's going to get the run coming up towards McLean's. And no, he's not. Ben Mullard really having to defend now against Schrank. They're pretty much glued to each other. Toto slightly dropping off, not able to keep up with the two McLarens, P1 and P2, coming up towards the S's. And Schrank not close enough yet to make a move. So now going down towards P10, we've got another battle. Kieran Cox in the 193 Porsche has got Tom McCormick up ahead, and Bas Linton in the number 99 BMW just behind. And you can see the amount of cars. David Michaels in P12, Jan Barth in P13. Everyone's still very close to each other on lap 2 here. We'll go on board with Cox. You can hear the traction control just kicking in there. And he's lost some time through the final corner, coming down towards the first corner, Redgate. And Thomas McCormick and Kieran Cox both with their back end just stepping out slightly there, coming down towards the Craners. And Kieran just picking up a bit of the grass. You can see how much it unsettles the car. Need to be very careful here, both running wide, and that's Cox following McCormick off. And we saw a similar thing with Otterberg and Kurt. It's so easy just to follow someone off there. But this has really brought Bas Linton and Michaels into the battle, and that's Cox losing the car with a pirouette there. Bas unfortunately wasn't able to avoid him, but no fault from the 99 BMW. That was Cox just bottoming out slightly and losing the car, but somehow he's done a perfect 360 and he's back up into back on the track. The Shearer's lost the car somewhere, and that would be on the exit of the S's. So he's going to drop down, and that promotes Borchardt up into P7. But look who's behind the Shearer. It is Thomas McCormick in the number 43 Porsche. The pace difference between these two is about a second or so. It's not going to be this lap since the Shearer has made a mistake. But back to the race lead. Schrank is into the lead, and Mullard is dropping down the order now. Look how close Totev is to the back of Mullard. He's practically pushing him round through the Craners, down towards Old Hairpin now. Let's hope they can keep it within the track limits, and yes they do. No mistakes from either of the drivers, and now Schrank's going to be able to pull away. He's already pulled 7/10 gap to Mullard in P2, and Mullard's going to have to defend very early on in this race. Bit of a slide there from Totev, and he's lost some time to Mullard just up in front. It's going to give him some time to focus now and not look behind him. Cameron now facing some pressure from Borchardt coming up towards the S, as you can see in front. Kurt's still in front of Otterberg, but Otterberg really not letting him out of sight there. They're neck and neck coming down towards the Melbourne hairpin now, too far back to make a move. And likewise for Borchardt, still too far back. Cameron doing a good job in P6. And Cameron, I believe, also running the SimZone setups for this track. Coming down towards turn 1 now. Borchardt still not close enough to make the move. You can see he's really struggling with pace at the moment. Well, he's just struggling to get past Cameron just up ahead, because the fastest lap from Borchardt was a 1:27.9 and the fastest from Cameron was a 1:28.4, and you can see that he's got a much better exit on the exit of Old Hairpin, and he's going to look up the inside coming up towards McLean's, and he's got the job done. It's a good move there by Borchardt. And he's going to set his sights now on the two drivers ahead, Otterberg and Hodgson. But Cameron's going to fight back hard here. Thomas McCormick and David Michaels very, very close. Let's go on board here with the Aston Martin driver of Michaels. And he's going to have a look up the inside coming towards the S's. Has he got the job done? Let's go back trackside and see. I think McCormick may have to back out of this one. And yes, he does. Michaels up into P9. So very good move there from him. Getting the better exit out of Coppice and down towards the Starkey Straight. He really got that move done. No hesitation whatsoever from him. You see in the background, Borchardt really catching up to these two now. He's been able to put in a 1:28.1 that last lap, so 2 tenths quicker than Hodgson and 5 tenths quicker than Otterberg. Otterberg's really jumping off the back of Hodgson now, but back to the top two. Schrank is in the lead. He's got a second and a half pretty much to Ben Mullard in P2, and Mullard is slightly pulled away from Totev as well. But that last lap from Schrank, a 1:27.1. In comparison, Mullard did a 1:27.9, so much slower than Schrank, and Schrank just seems to have the edge in the race. He can lap consistently in pretty much what would be qualifying pace, and it doesn't seem like any other driver on the grid is able to do that. But looking further down the field now, we've got so many battles going on. Jan Barth is closely followed by Kudasov now, and look just up ahead, that is Brewer having a look up the inside towards the S's on Cox, and they're going to leave each other enough room, and Cox holds on to that, but he bottoms out slightly. A bit of contact between the two, a bit of a slide there from Cox as well, and Jan having a look up the inside, but there's nowhere to go, and he's going to have to back out of that one. Can Artem Kudasov get round the outside of Jan there? Jan's left him the space, and I think Kudasov's going to have the inside for the final corner here, coming through Goddard's. Jan holding it round the outside though. Very good job there from Jan. They're leaving each other enough room. Jan's now going to have the inside for turn 1, so he may be able to hold on to this. Yes, he's pulled over back onto the racing line. He's held on to that move. Brilliant defending from Jan, but he's compromised his exit slightly there, and Kudasov's got a much better exit, but he's not able to get the move done. It's a very good driving between those two. Otterberg is now faced by Borchardt in P6. Coming down towards Yesis. Look how much later on the brakes Borchardt is. He takes much more curb. Otterberg slightly bottoming out, and he's going to have to go defensive. Coming up towards the Melbourne hairpin, and Borchardt's going to do him around the outside. Very good move there by Borchardt. And he's going to set his sights now on his next target, Hodgson, just up ahead. And Borchardt has been lapping in the 127s. Now, this is the pace of the top three, so he definitely has the pace to catch up. David Michaels now running in P9, pretty much on his own. He's got Thomas McCormick not too far behind, but looking further down the field, look at this. Cox has got quite a handful here early on in the race. He's got Brewer, Janbarth, Kudasov all behind him. And you can see how close Brewer is now coming down towards the Craners. He may have to go defensive here, coming up towards Old Hairpin. Brewer having a look up the inside, coming to the Craners. Not the most ideal places to have a look up the inside, but he's really just trying to show himself in the rear mirrors here of Brewer. Just let him know that he is there and he's not afraid to make a move. And that's Cox slightly wide, and that's going to lose him the position to Brewer. He has to rejoin carefully here, and he's going to lose another position, possibly to Kudasov as well. No, Kudasov having to cut the inside ever so slightly just to avoid contact with Cox there. But he's lost 2 positions just from one mistake. And look how close Hodgson and Borchardt are now. Borchardt's got the move done on Hodgson. And good job there from Borchardt. Just has that edge on pace here. And I think he's just going to start pulling away now. He knows he's quicker. That last lap, he was over a second quicker than Hodgson. So he's definitely going to be pulling away here. So let's go back down to the battle for P12. Brewer now leading this battle. You can see behind how many cars are catching up now. That is Kudasov and Kieran Cox going side by side, and Kudasov's got the move done around the outside into turn 1. This is allowing Bilotti and Carl Van Horn to catch up. Both Astro Racing Team drivers also competing in the 6 Hours of Suzuka on the 15th of May. So make sure, if you are interested and haven't signed up for that, make sure to do so, because spots are filling up very fast. And likewise, Tom Curtin, also from Astro Racing Team, catching up to the back of these this pack. Bas Linson still sticking with McCormick just up ahead. Brewer has dropped some pace slightly to these 2 up ahead. It is 3.5 seconds the gap, maybe less than that, as we come through the penultimate corner. No, Brewer going slightly deeper to the corner there. I don't think he got the best of exits, but looking back to the battle for P14, Kudasov holding on. He's got Kieran still fighting hard behind him. Bit of oversteer through the final corner. But back to the battle for P4. Borchardt hasn't really been able to pull away as much as we thought he would have been. But the gap is about 7/10 there to Hodgson behind. And it may just be increasing now as they come through Coppice down the Starkey Straight. We'll see what's across the next sector line, which I believe is now, there we go, it is a second exactly, the gap. But Hodgson and Otterberg just waiting patiently. You saw him make a few mistakes coming through the S's there, that chicane. And his car just bottoming out slightly. He needs to be careful. He's just going to wait in the wings of these 2 drivers, wait for them to make a mistake somewhere. Or he may go for an undercut, because the pit window is opening in about 3.5 minutes, 3.25 minutes. So very, very close. But back down to the battle for P10. McCormick really having to defend now from Bas Linson. in P11. Coming through the final corner now, Bass is going to have a better run down the start-finish straight. We know the Porsche's not the quickest, but he's actually picked up, he's put a wheel on the grass there through the final corner. I don't think that's helped his exit at all, so McCormick's going to hold on for yet another corner. But the pace difference between these two, Bass Linton was a tenth quicker that last lap. So he definitely has the edge here to make the move. But still very similar in pace, so it's not going to be easy for Bass to get past. And I say that, McCormick runs slightly wide on the exit of Old Hairpin. And that's allowed Bass Linton to really close in the gap under the brakes now for McLean's. And now up towards Coppice. But we'll keep an eye on the delta between those two. We've still got this battle. Cox has really lost some time to cut himself up ahead. And look how close Bilotti and Carvan Horner now will go on the rear view wing cam of Cox. And Bilotti having a late look up the inside. He's made contact there with Kieran Cox. He's going to have to wait. And that wasn't the best move from Bilotti. And no, he's not going to wait to return the position. So he's just going to drive off there. And Kieran Cox losing a lot of time from a very late lunge up the inside from Bilotti. And he's lost quite a few positions. He's down into P20 now. He's lost 5 positions there just from that incident. That's going to put Freak, Omar and Yannik very close behind. Yannik looking to make a move on Omar, but currently lapping in the 130s. Both these two drivers, Yannik was 5 tenths quicker that, oh now into the 129s, he was 2 tenths slower that last lap actually. So it doesn't seem like he can get a move done just yet. Back to this battle, Otterberg still there or thereabouts, and we heard some gravel there. But no, Hodgson seems to be okay. Back down towards the battle for P18 then. Viken, Curtin's made a mistake somewhere and he's dropped down into P19 then, and that promotes Fernandez, Luke Viken and Domenico Bilotti. But now facing pressure from Luke Viken down in P18, who's now P17 actually, and look how close, look how late Luke Viken was on the brakes. He had to take the escape road there. And he's rejoined behind Fernandez, but good job from him avoiding Bilotti in P16. Good to see Didi and Chris in the comments as well. Chris saying, come on Chris, oh wait, he's not racing yet. And here we go, Fernandez with some good pace here tonight. Last lap was a 1:28.8, so a second, 1.2 seconds quicker than Bilotti. Last lap, Nashira now looking up at P8, is closing up to the back of Cameron. Let's go on board with Nashira. Into the S's now. See the sparks flying from the Aston just up ahead. And the Nashira going very late on the brakes, going for the later apex. And that's Borchardt into the pits. Pit window is now open. Nashira really trying to focus on his exit here to get the later apex. The better run down the start finish straight. But I don't think it's really helped him. It's not a long enough straight to really be doing that. But now to Redgate. Gap still seems to be as it were. Cameron doing a good job at holding his own here with not much practice at all. And back we go to the battle for P 16, that is Bilotti having a look up the inside. No, he's actually slowed down there. And Fernandez wide through Redgate. Bilotti's going to have a look up the inside coming through the Craners. They are side by side. And no, Bilotti's got the move done. So he's up into P15. And Fernandez, oh, very late on the brakes there. I believe he's suffering some connection issues. So he has to rejoin safely, and yes, he does. But it looks like Yannik down in P19 has got the move done on Omar. But Kudasov and Jan Boff still very, very close. Jan losing some time to Brewer up ahead, who's now behind Bastelinson and Thomas McCormick. So another 3-car battle then for P9. And we'll go on board here with the Aston of Brewer coming up towards the final corner. A bit of a wiggle from Brewer on the exit of Redgate. You can see Bastelinson and McCormick have been pretty much neck and neck throughout the entire race, and that's McCormick wide through old hairpin that's going to let Bass have the inside for the next corner. He's got the move done even before the braking zone, so good job there by Bass, just capitalising there on McCormick's mistake. The Porsches don't seem to be very planted around here at all. It's going to be an issue with the setup then. You see McCormick's rear end just wiggling left and right, and Brewer's going to have the better exit out of Coppice coming down towards the S's, and I think he's going to have the move done here later on the brakes, and yes, he's got the move done. McCormick losing the position, but he's going to go for the immediate reply. Bit of door rubbing between the two. And McCormick looking to get the move done. No, Brewer much later on the brakes. And just slots in there. Oh, contact between McCormick and Brewer. And looks like McCormick's going to have to wait for that position to return that position. Brewer's got going once again. And that's really unfortunate, but McCormick continues. And he's going to serve his mandatory pit stop now. Mullard in P2, Schrank still leading the race, almost a 10-second gap already, and we've only just started the pit stop phase. But Totev really been able to keep the gap to Mullard. The gap says about a second. It seems to be coming down actually. Maybe Mullard will opt to go into the pit. His tyres may not be in the optimum range at the moment. Let's see. No, he stays out on track, and Totev dives into the pits. So there we go. Totev into the pits. Let's see where he comes out in comparison to Borchardt. Borchardt currently in P17. P15, sorry. It does say P17 on the tower, but that'll update once they cross the next sector 9. It doesn't really seem to have any traffic in front of him at the moment, so good call. I say that. He's got one car not too far down the road. But it shouldn't trouble him too much. Looks like Luke Viken and Tom McCormick are very close coming out the pits. They've both served their mandatory stop. McCormick not really able to keep up with Viken as much as he'd like to, coming up towards the S's now. McLaren just seems to be a bit quicker there than the Porsche of McCormick. Totev, I believe, is now encountering some traffic just up ahead, and that is, oh, Curtin. They're losing the car somewhere. But he's rejoined safely and no harm to Totev at all. The gap between Cameron and Michaels has come down. It's down to 4/10 to 2 Aston Martin drivers, number 91 and number 32. And now fighting for P5 here. You can just see there how close Michaels is. He's going to have a look up the inside. No. Cameron defends the inside through McLean's. Now up towards Coppice. Michael's too far back to make a move here. Very blind corner is Coppice as you're coming over the hill. And Cameron's now going to have to go defensive. He keeps the car towards the left-hand side and now moves back over to the racing line. He knows that Michaels won't be able to get that move done there. But Michaels with a much better exit through the S's than Cameron, as you see, having to go defensive, keeping the car in the middle of the track then. And I think he's going to hold on here just about. Michaels is going to have a look towards the outside here for the final corner. And Cameron's just holding on once again. Is there space up the inside for Michaels? No, there isn't. Cameron defends for yet another corner, but coming down towards turn 1, this is where Michaels will have the slipstream, the toe. But no, he's not close enough to get the move done. He's just going to settle for P6 for another corner here. But a big slide there from Michaels, a bit of a snap. He's kept the car together. And coming through the crane is not really any place to overtake, but in the braking zone for the old hairpin, they've kept it together. But Michaels with a much better exit. He's going to have a look up the inside there. Took a bit of the curb, and I think Cameron's going to be on the inside for the next corner. Coming through McLean's now. They're still side by side, and Michaels may just have to settle back there for P6. And there we go. Good defending from Cameron. He's been able to hold on once again. Michaels is really not giving this one up just yet. He's really eager to get this move done. And you can see he definitely has the confidence and a slight pace advantage over Cameron here. They're coming up towards the final corner then. And that's Michaels into the pits, so possibly going for an undercut here. You can see someone exiting the pits. I think that is Curtin exiting the pits now. But Cameron's got some traffic up ahead of him, I believe. Not quite sure who that is. That is the McLaren of Clayton, I believe, in P23. Yes, it is. So good job by him for moving out of the way there. Tom McCormick and Carl Van Horn, P16 and P17 respectively, are quite close to each other. No, they're not actually. The Delta says 5/10, but it's much more than that then. 4 seconds it is. So possibly, believe that may have been Carl Van Horn exiting the pits then. That's why the Deltas would have been so close together. But you can see in the background, that is Brewer with a nightmare after getting spun round by McCormick. But he's looking to make the move on the 333. BMW just up ahead, coming towards Melbourne Hairpin. He's had a look up the inside. Is he going to be later on the brakes? The BMW's left in the room, And a bit of contact between the two, but he's got the move done there up the inside. And up into P20 he goes. Curtin is back into the pits for some reason. Doesn't seem like he's got any damage on that Aston Martin of his. So maybe fuel even that he's miscalculated here. Fernandez running in P18 at the moment, just 3 seconds off of Bilotti. Omar still yet to pit. Robin Schwank has now dived into the pits. Cameron is staying out for another lap. We may come in this lap, we shall see. But Cameron and Omar then the only two to serve their mandatory stop. They've got plenty of time to do so though, just under 8 minutes. And looks like Otterberg in the pit stops has jumped Hodgson. So Otterberg up into P6, Hodgson down into P7. So good job there from Otterberg. And will this be Cameron's pit stop? Yes, there we go. He dives into the pits. Let's switch back to this battle. Oh, that's Kieran, I think, losing the car once again. Yes, he did, but he's managed to get it going. And Totev running in P4 at the moment, which will be P3 after Cameron exits the... or once they pass Cameron in the pits. Borchardt 5 seconds behind to Totev. And that's Kieran Cox wide, I think, once again on the grass. But he's struggling with that Porsche tonight. But doesn't seem like anyone else is closer apart from... looks like Michaels has got past Omar there. Omar still opting to stay out. He's the only driver still to make their mandatory stop. There were yellow flags there for Cox after he lost the car, I think, coming through the craners. And he's really not enjoying that Porsche today. But Otterberg losing a substantial amount of time to Hodgson just behind. The gap is down to a second between the two. These two seem to be on very similar pace. Otterberg with a slight bit of damage on the front of that Audi, but look how much time he's lost there through the Melbourne hairpin. Maybe a bit too early on the brakes. And now through the final corner, Goddard. Down towards the start-finish straight then. He's run slightly wide there, picking up some gravel and grass, but that hasn't really affected his exit or his run towards Old Hairpin now. But he's missed the curb on the inside ever so slightly. He's picked up some more grass. You can see Hodgson closing the gap every corner now. Omar now into the pits to serve his mandatory stop, so that will be everyone serving their mandatory stop then. And Otterberg's going to have to defend for the last 24.5 minutes. It's not an easy task. And after the pit stops, looks like Cameron is still ahead of Michaels, P8 and P9. We'll stay on this battle just for a bit, and look how late in the brakes Hodgson is. Otterberg now through the final corner. won't have to go defensive. Hodgson not close enough just yet to make this move stick. And Oderberg's going to hold on once more. The battle for P8 is still on. Look how close these two are. Cameron's not going defensive into turn 1. Michael's still not close enough to go for that move. And I think his best chance may be the hairpins towards sector 3. They're going to be side by side, almost side by side through the craners. And Michael's going to have a look up the inside through the old hairpin. No, he's had to back out of that. But he's really putting on the pressure to Cameron, and he's lost the car, nearly lost the car on the exit of old hairpin. He needs to be careful because he's really pushing to get this move done. We'll quickly switch back to this battle. Oderberg still holding on just about, and he's run wide there on the exit of the S's, and that promotes Kurt up a position into P5. And we've seen that happen to Oderberg before, his car bottoming out slightly through the S's, through that chicane, and running wide as a result. But back to this battle we go for P8. It looks like Michaels and Cameron side by side through the S's, but Cameron got that position back, and he's gonna go, no, he's back over to the racing line for the Melbourne hairpin. And what a battle between these two. They've been battling in their first stint and also in their second now, and this could be the battle that we see even towards the end of the race in the last few laps. Oh, Michaels were slightly wide there through Redgate, and he's lost some time to Cameron just up ahead in the 91 Aston. Oh, and a bit of a slide there from Michaels on the exit of Coppice. He's going to lose even more time to Cameron up ahead. So in the second stint, Michaels' car seems to be a bit more unstable. I say that though, Cameron's made a mistake going through the S's. You saw the sparks flying from underneath his car. And Michaels is really going to close up there through the Melbourne hairpin. And he's right up to the back of him once again. But we'll keep an eye on this battle. Let's go down to P10. Jan Barth, who's defending from Kudasov. Kudasov taking a slightly different line there through the final corner. He's picked up some dirt on the exit. But still, Kudasov not able to get this move done. He's been sat behind Jan for a while now.
Pit window is now closed.
There we go, pit window is closed, but that is irrelevant. No one is yet to make their mandatory stop. Everyone has done so. We've got Kieran in the comments saying just did an awful setup, and that would have been the result of the back end of the Porsche sliding out quite a bit. This Porsche definitely didn't seem stable, but look how close Michaels is under braking. Seems like he locked up ever so slightly. Now coming down towards turn 1, he's still not close enough to get this move done. Both of the Astons spitting flames on downshift. And a bit of a snap there from Michaels, but he's held it together. And he's much closer than he was last time around. Seems to be much quicker through the craners there. That's where he's gaining the time on Cameron. Cameron possibly not as confident, taking a different line through the craners. But there's just no space for Michaels. Cameron's placing his car exactly where it needs to be. The gap between Mullard and Totev, just noticed this, has come down by about 5 or so tenths. It was 2 the last time we had a look, and Michaels Aston once again sliding through Coppice. And look how late on the brakes Michaels is going to look for a late lunge down the inside. And has he got the move done? I think he has. Cameron's had to leave him the space, and there we go. He's finally got the move done with a late lunge down the inside. And it managed to pay off for him, but Cameron's going to look for an immediate reply here. He's going to be close now, coming down towards turn 1. But I think Michaels can afford to take the normal racing line. And there we go. Yes, he does. They are extremely close, both pretty much matching pace here. We'll keep an eye on both these Aston drivers. Let's go back to the battle for P3. Totev really closing the gap now to Mullard. So that last lap, Totev wasn't quick at that last lap, so all the time he's gained will be on this lap. We'll see what their lap times are when they cross the line, but Totev's gone very deep through the final corner there, and I don't think that's going to help him at all as he crosses the line, and it is slower than Mullard's last time by 3 thousandths. So he's lost all the time then in that final corner. It looks like Oderberg has closed the gap back up to Hodgson. It's down to 9 tenths between the two. Bullshot running in P4, currently in no man's land at the moment. 10 seconds back to Totev. I think he may have made a mistake somewhere. So he was about 6 seconds to Totev. So he has definitely made a mistake. And Michaels, after overtaking Cameron, has been able to open up about, I think that may be a second now to Cameron naturally. No, it looks to be just less. 8 tenths, and Michaels wide once again through Old Hairpin. McCormick and Carl Van Horn very close to each other as well. McCormick has... no, I think that's a back marker up ahead. No, it's not a back marker, actually it's the race leader. Schwank just up ahead, putting a lap on these two. Oh, big slide there in the background for Carl Van Horn. And he's going to lose a lot of time now to McCormick. I think McCormick's going to be much more relaxed now that he's got a huge buffer there to number 13 Aston. Got Kieran in the comments rooting for David Michael is in P8, who's now pulled over a second to Cameron in P9. The gap between Ben Mullard and Totev is really coming down. Just a second between these two, and it's going to come down to the wire. You can see a plane there just in the sky, landing I think it's East Midlands? West Midlands Airport? East Midlands. One of those two. But I'm sure that's not going to be a distraction for any of these drivers out on track tonight. Totev last time out was a 10th quicker than Mullard, so 127.5 for Totev and 127.6 for Mullard. Just see that he's still maintaining that 1 second gap. Mullard seems to be taking a bit more curb there through the S's. I'm not sure if that's going to help him. Gap now down to 8 tenths. Totev using more curb there through Melbourne hairpin. Now looks like Bilotti is facing some pressure from Brewer down in P17 and P18. Looks like Bilotti is going to hold on though, coming down towards Redgate. And the gap's opened up ever so slightly between these two now. But back to the battle for P2. Mullard holding on just about. He's really losing a lot of time here to Totev. Totev that last lap 2 tenths quicker. And you can see it's in the 3rd sector where he's gaining. Actually no, sorry. It's the 2nd sector where Totev is gaining. 1st and 2nd sector is where he's gaining, and he's losing it in the 3rd sector to Mullard. And Totev starting in P4 on the grid has made up a position so far. He has got a way to go. Here, 10 minutes left of the race, and he's looking to gain another position here. Artem Kudasov as well, running in P10, started in P24, so he's gained 14 positions from race start. That is the most positions gained so far. Don't really think anyone's going to be able to match that, and Luke Vika with a drive-through penalty for track limits. Look how close Fernandez and Carl van Horn are. Coming through Coppice now. We saw a mistake from Carl van Horn earlier on the exit of turn 7 McLean's. But he's managed to get it together. And now he's holding off Fernandez very well here. So Carl van Horn, that last lap was a 1.5 seconds slower. And I'm sure the tiredness is definitely going to be kicking in now. The fatigue from racing 8 hours. Obviously he wouldn't be doing all of them, but racing for that long is definitely going to fatigue any driver. Coming down the start-finish straight now, you can see in the background that is Mullard and Totev. Just 5 tenths separating the two. Okay, saying ask J-Palm which airport he'll know. Unfortunately J-Palm's not here tonight, so there's no one to ask. But Kenny supporting Jan for a top 10, and it actually looks like he's 6/10 to Kudasov in P10. Well, he's really closing the gap now. Let's see as they cross the line. Yes, Jan 4/10 quicker than Kudasov that last lap, so he's really closing in. But let's switch back to the battle for P2 and let's stay on this for a while. These back markers could come into the mix here. There we go, Carl Van Horn moving over for the two leaders. I definitely wouldn't want to see that BMW in my rearview mirrors. Look how mean it looks there. You can see just up in front, that is Fernandez. He's opened up quite a gap to Carl Van Horn. He's got a bit to go before he has to move out the way, but that is McCormick and Viken side by side. And looks like McCormick has got the move done through the S's, so he's up into P13 and Viken down into P14. Just caught that in the nick of time. But Totev is running out of time here. Just 6.5 minutes left to go. And he's eager to get this move done. But the question is, can he get close enough and where will he get this move done? Tom Curtin in the pits. I think that may be for the first... Oh no, he still stayed in the pits, so he hasn't actually left. I don't think. Totev really needs to be closer coming through the final corner if he wants to make a move into turn 1. And there we go, just the concertina effect of braking into McLean's, not McLean, sorry, Melbourne hairpin. And he's not close enough coming through the final corner. Both these drivers pretty much matching pace. Totev slightly quicker that last lap. And he does have the edge, but it's not much. And with these two drivers, Mullard and Totev, being in different manufacturers, different cars, they're going to be faster and slower in different places on the circuit. Looking further down the field then, Tom McCormick still a few tenths ahead of Viken. Viken with a bit of a wiggle coming through Coppice. And the gap has increased, definitely not 3 tenths anymore. There we go. 1.2 seconds, that is behind, that is Mullard, and Mullard with not the best exit there, coming through the S's, now having to go defensive, coming up towards the Melbourne hairpin. Can Totev go later on the brakes, try and hold it round the outside? I think Mullard's going to slot back in, and Totev is really trying to get this move done now. Mullard slightly deep through the final corner. This could give Totev the run he needs down the start-finish straight to make the move into turn 1, but no, he's not close enough yet, so he's not going to go for that. And a bit late on the brakes there coming through Old Hairpin. It's going to lose him some time and give Mullard a bit of a gap now. The time is really running out here for Totev. I'm sure Mullard's just staring at that timer, asking for it to tick faster. But here we go, that's Beacon moving out the way for Mullard and Totev. Good job from him. And different lines there through the hairpin. Mullard seems to go for a slightly later apex, and Totev hugs the inside. And this is where it gets interesting. Back markers are going to come into play. Totev tried to, I think, tried to go down the inside there. Or maybe just wanted to be a bit more aggressive into the corner. They've got more McCormick just up ahead. He's going to have to move out the way on the next straight, I think, because the leaders are approaching. And yep, there we go, moves out the way very sensibly there. Very well timed from McCormick. It's great to see. And neither of these leaders have lost any time. There we go, leader on the final lap then. And Frank is, where is he on track? There we go, just exiting Redgate now. He's coming up to some traffic that is Kudasov just up ahead. But he doesn't really have to worry, he's so far ahead to Mullard that he can take his time here. Kudasov moving out the way now. And there we go, that's not going to help him too much. Jan does say 1.8 seconds, I think the gap's going to come down there. But Mullard has opened up an even bigger gap to Totev behind, coming through Old Hairpin now. I think Totev is losing hope now. Really losing hope. That's Brewer into the pits for some reason. Has he picked up any damage on the Aston Martin of his? No, it's going to be fuel. It's definitely going to be fuel. That's unfortunate for him. But watching Schrank now coming up towards the final corner. Once again, a dominant victory from him and extending his championship lead. But didn't have it as easy as he would have. He had to get past Mullard early on in the race, but there we go. He's come out on top, and P1 once again for Schrank. Mullard just holding on here. He's got one more corner to do so, and I think he's going to be okay. Totev too far back to go for a move up the inside, and there we go. Rounding the final corner, Mullard in P2. A very well defensive battle from him. Totev in P3. Flash of lights from both of those two. Borchardt rounding the final corner in P4. Unfortunately, we saw him have some contact early on in the race, but P4 for him. Hodgson in P5. Oh no, that's not good at all. That is not good at all. Really don't want to be seeing that. Oderberg in P6, Nashira in P7. Michaels, who will be in P8. And there we have it then, your race winners. Frank extending the championship lead. Mullard in P2 and Totev in P3, but rounds it off for round 7 here of the GT3 championship. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for the Sunday championship on console.
Green line. Give it all you got.
But until then, have a good night, and we'll see you then.